All right, I'm not seeing any online results for the high jump, Ricardo. You said 220. We don't have a scoreboard out there either.
Yeah. In high school, Romain Beckford, I think it might have been his final year because he left pretty early.
Yeah, Bull Bay.
Yeah, won the Class 2 high jump and discus throw.
Right next to each other too. You know, the discus is nets right, the circle right beside the high jump here inside this national stadium.
I actually think he could have been quite the discus throw.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought you were going to tell me if you can high jump and throw the discus and win gold in both, that you would become a
decathlete.
Thank you, Jen. You know,
well, you have to be able to do some other things.
Sure, but does that combination is so rare, high jump and discus. If you can high jump, you probably have ability to pole vault. If you can do the discus, you probably can get that javelin out there. Pretty sure you might be able to hurdle.
Yeah, he's 57.69 in the javelin throw at his best. 6.33 indoors, long jumper. That was 2020 though, long time ago.
Yeah, 6.33 is not a long jump though.
Yeah, but he's focused on the high. I guess if he did go the way of the decathlon, then you would see better performances.
Nice.
Tips it, but goes clear. Romain Beckford, the Jamaican #1. And as usual, his fans are in the stadium.
Confirm the height for us, though, because I'm not seeing any evidence of what the height is.
What I do know, these two are battling to break the tie between them for national titles.
Oh, nicely done, Arches.
So the bar now at 2.25 meters.
Not 2.20? Because you said 2.20 for Lushane.
It was just adjusted now, so the bar is now at 2.25.
Really? From 2.20? That's a big jump. Not saying impossible, but...
Yeah, so they started at 190, 205, 210, 215, 220, and now at 225. Here's Lashane Wilson, 6'4'9". The former St. Jaga high man has stayed with his high school coach there in the background, Marlon Gale, throughout his career. Loved his basketball as well. Comes down on the bar. And he will have 2 more attempts at 225, and we will see Beckford, the former Buff Bay man, getting his chance at 225.
Yeah, you mentioned his basketball exploits. He part of Jamaica's 3-on-3 basketball. Got to quarterfinals some years ago in the AmeriCup.
Didn't you try out for that team as well?
Yeah, but I'm only stuck at the business house level. So,
heard earlier when Demario Prince was being interviewed about his hurdling, and he said, "Well, Coach Gale had, kind of recruited me for long and high." This is the Coach Gale he's talking about. If you can get past Hansel Parchment and
Julian Campbell,
so that's Coach Marlon Gale, who was at St. Jago at the time and recruited Demario Prince into the jumps. That's who he was referring to.
And knowing Coach Gale's prowess in other events, he could have probably convinced Demario Prince to do some throwing as well.
The 200 finals and the women's 400 hurdles final still to come on the final day of the J3's National Junior and the Senior Championships. There's Lashane Wilson.
On the sprint side for the under 18 girls, it seems to be, the 1-2 seems to be more about who's not there doing X-Style as opposed to who is here.
Well, absolutely, and it's what we had brought up earlier. Again, at under 18, you tend to see less of them come out for the national championship. Its interests lie elsewhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys can do much better than that. Come on, let's make him feel your support.
Lashane Wilson, second attempt coming up at 225. And I'm now wondering if what we saw from Wilson takes it down. I'm now wondering if what we saw from Beckford was actually a 225 clearance.
Or 220.
Yeah, but the fact is we've now seen Wilson twice
That
at
means
225.
So Beckford would have cleared at 225 then.
Yes.
But then it also begs the question.
We're assuming,
yeah, well,
but it's a good assumption. It's a smart assumption.
Yeah, but we should not have to guess, though. You know, it's 2026. You know, we should have facts. But that aside, the other question is how many jumpers are still in there?
So it was 225, the clearance for Romain Beckford. And Shane Wilson now has 2 failures at 225.
Are there any other jumpers still in the competition?
I'll try and figure it out for you. No. Well, Raymond Richards did clear at 215. Seems as if he has retired from the competition, though.
I think Raymond was in Doha on Friday at the Doha Diamond League.
Yes.
Jumping with Barshim and the like. That's Christoph Bryan in the back. He does not look like he's still competing.
No, Christoph Bryan, he's out. His best clearance, 205, failed 3 times at 210. So only 2 competitors remaining. Shane Wilson, 1 attempt remaining at 225. Romain Beckford has already cleared at 225. Santina Distin, he's out. His best clearance, 2 meters. 205 for Christoph Bryan, and Raymond Richards has retired. I suspect, though, by competing here, Richards has pretty much guaranteed his Commonwealth Games spot. Jordan Scott, who was in Doha on Friday as well, is also here, but didn't actually compete in the men's triple jump earlier today.
Okay, well, this one is strange. Is it that we've moved the bar up again? Because if he has already cleared 225, then this has to be 228.
Third place award.
Takes that one down.
I know, but we need to know the height.
Second place award.
You know, a scoreboard, live results, any source.
Well, it can only be that the height has gone up and Wilson will take one more attempt
at 228.
Yeah, the bar is now at 2.28 meters. So that means, Bruce, Shane Wilson will have only
1 attempt.
This is the first attempt for Romain Beckford.
Decent, has the height. I think he needs to get the hips up just at that point of clearance. But he definitely got the shoulders over.